Now guys, again, welcome back to my another video, and this will be a very quick video about iOS development or generally all the components which are included in the iOS dev. If how can you learn it very quickly? What if you can learn in 2026? What you need to know and limitations you will face, and I will give you a very quick overview and understanding of the entire picture of iOS or Apple platforms. So which includes your iOS, your macOS, your Swift UI, UIKit, Objective-C, everything. Now, when we say iOS dev, we mean someone who can do development for Apple systems. Now that can be macOS, that can be iOS, that can be Vision OS, or watchOS or tvOS, anything which is Apple. There are many components in it. We have Swift UI, we have Objective-C, UIKit. Now these are like the primary things which you will learn. So as a developer who is learning in the age of 2026 or 2027, you will start with Swift. After getting the understanding of language, you will go to Swift UI, which is again, as the name suggests, a UI framework based on Swift. Now, with the help of Swift UI, you can start making interesting apps. Your first step, which will be a calculator or timer or anything like that. So you master Swift, you master Swift UI. Objective-C and UIKit. Now, if you did iOS development basically 6-7 years ago, then everything was Objective-C UIKit. Apple has switched to Swift and Swift UI. So now you will learn Swift and Swift UI. Although there are legacy apps which are in Objective-C and UIKit. So I will say do not learn them, but have a good picture, right? But I will not suggest as a beginner when you're officially working or figuring something out. Then you can get like good understanding of UIKit, good understanding of Objective-C. That will be it. Now we know about Swift UI, we know about UIKit, Objective-C, which we do not have to learn right now. We need to focus on Swift and Swift UI. Now we'll talk about your physical limitations. I get many messages asking me about, hey, I have a Windows laptop, can I do iOS? My answer is next to impossible. You cannot do iOS development on Windows laptop because you need an Apple developer account which is linked to your Apple ID, which is you only get when you pay like $99 per year. So which is near impossible or like completely impossible without MacBook. So you need a MacBook, although not necessary iPhone, because you can use simulators and all that thing to replace iPhone. But if you are doing some serious testing which are using on-device physical sensors, then you need an iPhone. But as a beginner, I don't think you will need it. But MacBook is mandatory. Apple development, iOS development cannot be done without a MacBook. Near impossible. Now we'll move to storage. I will suggest you 500 GB. With 256 GB it is impossible. You will make few apps and then your entire MacBook storage will be completely filled. Now we have complete understanding of what comes under iOS. How should you start? You should start with Swift, you should start with Swift UI, and then move on to start making your first apps. Then you can, I will suggest, directly jump to open source. When you make your first few apps, when you make 4 to 5 apps, and you have understanding, finally, find an open source project. I'm not talking about like giant VLC or something like that. No. A tiny open source project around 1000, 2000 stars, and then you can start working on it. It will make you learn incredibly fast, and you can master things which others will do in 4 months, in like 1-2 months, if you're working on the project very nicely. Because even understanding code base is a difficult task, or should I say like most important task, which you can do fast if you are understanding multiple code bases. And the best code base we find in open source, right? So after your first few apps, directly go with open source projects and start working on them. Now, we can talk about why exactly they are using Swift language. Why not we are using Python or C++, Kotlin, any of those languages? Why completely different Swift language? Because except iOS, I don't think anyone uses Swift. Although I have made servers on Swift, and now Swift embedding is possible. They have also announced Swift Android group, so hopefully it will come on Android. But on mainstream market, you only use Swift on iOS. There are many language specific reasons for it, but I think that will be a long video, so we can discuss in some another video. So yeah, and UI kit and Swift UI are way different things. Swift UI is very declarative in nature, and UI kit sort of very programmatic. You have to tell everything. If you go to a major corporation, then there might be apps who are in UI kit, or the active procedure is going on where they are switching an UI kit app to a Swift UI. The open source organization I worked with, they were actively migrating UI kit to Swift UI. So yeah, if you're joining a big company which have like 7, 8, 9 apps which are years old, then yeah, you will need to understand UI kit. But that's a task you will do on job. I will not suggest at beginning. Yeah, that will be it. Now there might be question about job market and everything. So I will say it is a very unique position. For example, web developer, there are like millions of web developers and very few iOS developers. So there are few iOS developers, there are few job openings. So I will say, they are matching each other. A very unique, but yeah, with relatively harder work, I think you could get something. Also, do analyze your market of your country. Majority of the country which are, let's just say, at a very big beginning stage, they will prefer more like Flutter or cross platforms. Although every single major org will stick with native development due to performance and other things. So yeah, do analysis of market of your own country. Otherwise, it is a pretty interesting space. Once you make iOS apps, you can make macOS apps. From there, it's just endless opportunity, right? On macOS, you can do everything. You can do games, simple software, computer aided design, a lot of things. Also, even the language Swift is very interesting. For example, right now I'm making Swift Dev Vault, which is sort of a CLI app. So Swift allows you to do a lot of things. Swift CLI, robotics, embedded, server side. Although not a mature ecosystem, but you could try it out for fun. So yeah, that will be it. And next video I will possibly make about why specifically Swift language was chosen for iOS, right? Why Swift is the chosen one? We need to figure out, why chosen was chosen. And yeah, thank you very much for watching the video. And my LinkedIn and everything is in description. You want to say hi or anything? Hit me up.